What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with another episode of G Gundam reviews. Whatever I call this thing, I still haven't even figured out. Sorry I wasn't around last week. I had prior engagements that I was committed to, but we're back. And thank God. I'll switch over real quick. Thank God that this episode of G Gundam kindly gives us a recap of what happened last time, and we'll go through it. We get our introducer. You know, again, this is episode 15. What happened last week? We'll just go over it through here. Mainly because it's a lot to take in, and there's a lot of points that need to be made as we move on. So what happened last time? Well, turned out that Master Asia was actually evil. Yeah. He was the bad guy. The Domon's master, mentor, this man that was very inspirational to Domon, was a bad guy working with the Dark Gundam and was piloting that mysterious black Gundam known as Master Gundam. Yeah, I don't get a good... Right, the best look I can get it. Even though I really do love this Gundam, it is a bad Gundam, a bad guy. We found out about this through his plot of changing the citizenry into Dark Army soldiers, infecting them with D cells. We get to see the comrades of Chippity, Saisaishi, Argo, and George. They're all in those DG cells, incubation chambers, and Rain saves them. Master tries to mesmerize Domon into joining him, and in the last moment, a bright light touches down, and bam, the Shuffle Alliance appeared. If I can get a good, decent look, because the Shuffle Alliance is pretty badass. And this is a very Shuffle Alliance heavy episode, and we'll just do it right here, where we don't get a full breakdown of their abilities or things, but we get a general basis of what is the Shuffle Alliance, or what are they, who are they, and how do they incorporate into this episode. We get a general idea. That's about it. I'll admit it, even though I love this episode and I think it continues the story forward in an interesting way, I got plenty of criticisms for this episode, and I'm going to let you hear them, even though I love this show and I love this episode. And I do think this is an important episode. So, Shuffle Alliance touches down, and as Master Asia with the rest of Chippity, Argo, Saisaishi, and George are about to confront the Shuffle Alliance, we get reminded that Domon pleaded with both of them to basically have a ceasefire and to please not fight, please not destroy each other. Master Asia accepts, but vows that next time he will destroy Domon, and he is no longer his student. And that's pretty much where we pick up. Yep, that's pretty much it. Brief, nice little recap that helps us get to where we are now. And where are we now? Well, we're at an interesting episode where Domon is basically interacting with the Shuffle Alliance here at the beginning for a good, decent amount of time. And apparently it's already been decided that the Shuffle Alliance will have to destroy Master Asia. Yeah, they will have to destroy Master Asia, and Domon is kind of annoyed by it and freaking out. Well, the Shuffle Alliance says, well, we have to. We have no choice. He's sided with the Dark Gundam, and he's no longer doing what a Shuffle Alliance member is supposed to do. And through this, we get the story of what the Shuffle Alliance is all about. Well, first how he's teamed up with Dark Gundam. He's no longer fighting to protect the world and protect order and peace. He's bringing chaos around him. Man, this is a nice little picture. And Domon doesn't understand, like, why do they have to fight? And this is when we get the acknowledgement that, hey, the Shuffle Alliance has been around for years, for millennia. And their whole goal for millennia, basically, was to be the ultimate force in combat and conflicts. That they are the protectors and arbiters and things of that nature in conflicts, where they have their whole thing, the Shuffle Alliance. This alliance has watched conflict after conflict, war after war, as humanity basically progressed, and in several instances have actually had to step in to keep themselves from mass extinction. Yeah. Pretty powerful stuff. So they then acknowledge that, hey, in modern times, humanity has basically evolved to have a more sophisticated and technologically advanced form of combat, the Gundam tournament. So now we are basically kind of referees in the Gundam tournament in martial arts, and we are the arbiters basically of order, and as long as things stay in check, things are okay. They also mentioned that, hey, last time when Master was competing in the tournament, they understood that, hey, Master is competing as a ambassador of the Shuffle Alliance. His job is to maintain order, maintain peace, and make sure that nobody gets too out of control. And now he's basically gone back on that and is doing something all sorts of crazy and is about to bring on a massive war. So their goal is to basically destroy him and destroy anybody associated with him. Gomon. God, I'm tired. I've been working a long day today, so this might be a quick video, and I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Domon says isn't going to accept it and says that he'll be willing to fight them in order to basically not destroy Master Asia, because he still wants to get through to him. He still thinks that Master Asia has a good side in him. And we get a little internal monologue real quick. Internal dialogue from Black Joker, this lovely lady. And she says, you know, this is the man Master Asia chose to train and pass on the King of Hearts to. And she's starting to think that she sees what he saw in him and how he is such a powerful force. Then, out of nowhere, an army of not Dark Gundam. God, the Dark Army appears, not to do conflict though, but to bring about a message for Domo. The message is pretty simple. Domo, make your way to Tokyo Tower alone, without the Shuffle Alliance, and take on Master Asia in a one-on-one battle. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. But everybody knows it's a trap. The Shuffle Alliance is prepared to do battle. Rain pleads with Domon not to go. Domon doesn't listen and says that he basically has to go and save Master Asia. So he goes off. Black Joker kind of says that she thinks she's still trying to she's seeing some of what Master Asia saw in him, but at the same time is shocked at just how brash he is and how young and inexperienced he truly is to be their leader. And we get this moment of Domo walking, basically being marched down, or I don't know the proper way, walking down this whole line of, there's this really good moment. Well, first, he's walking along a line of Dark Gundam. Like, either side of him is a Dark Army member. Cool line leads all the way over to Tokyo Tower. And as Domon is steadily walking through this, we cut to the little base where Chippity, Argo, Sai Shi, and Master Asia are. And the Master Asia says, well, here's the time. This is it. We're going to give him one more chance to join us. And if he doesn't, we'll just destroy him. and they're all excited to do it. You know, Saisaishi and all of them are very eager to destroy Domon. You get this really cool. I mean, come on, this is a really cool layout. Look at Master Gundam there. They're all looking upon him, and Master's like, we'll bring him on to us or we'll destroy him. His choice. Here's that scene I was talking about. See, he's just walking along this whole alley, basically to Tokyo Tower, to go up against Master Asia, and Domon basically says, what's wrong, Master Asia? What am I missing here? There's no way you're this awful man, especially after you taught me the way of a martial artist and what it means to be a martial artist and how to speak with your soul. And we get this little flashback moment where young Domon and Master Asia are communicating. You see, all young. All young and chipper Domon. Very young compared to how we've seen him so far. Along with Master Asia. And Master Asia says this interesting thing about the soul and how martial artists communicate. And they communicate with their fists. And how the more you practice your thrusts, ladies, the more you learn how to communicate with your fists. The more you can infuse your soul into your fist and learn to be one with your fist, and by doing so you can basically do anything. And Master Asia then reaches into the fire to pull out some food and begin eating, and then we get this nice little moment where young Domon with Master Asia still reaches into the fire, can't do it. Everything kind of crackles, and Master Asia's laughing because young Domon tried to run before he could walk. And it's a heartwarming moment, but it's a moment that really speaks, and it says, hey, Master Asia taught you how to communicate, and now you're thinking, hey, what's going on? You taught me this, so what's going on now? Why aren't you this man who practically raised me and told me, hey, we're fighters, we communicate with our fists. What's going on here? And you get this very cool showdown where we cut back to now. We get this cool stare down between everybody where Domon pleads with Master Asia to please stop. He's come, let's settle this. And Master Asia says, well, you gotta go through them first before you can get through me. And Saisaishi, Argo, Chippity, and George, God, all appear out of the ground and surround Domon. Master says, well, in order to get to me, you got to get through my new students, and basically commands them all to. Domon says, enough fighting, enough of this. Let's just fight, and immediately leaps up onto Tokyo Tower, and I'm trying to get my words here. He leaps onto Tokyo Tower. Master Asia commands the students to go after him, Saisaishi, all of them, to go after him to take him out, and they oblige. And while we are on Tokyo Tower, we get this really cool fight scene that I can't fully show you because of YouTube stuff. I will do the best I can, but Saisaishi goes in for a quick kick, and Domon's pleading with them as they're fighting, saying, hey, this isn't you. This isn't who we are. This isn't the way we are supposed to fight. You aren't acting normal, continuing to pleading with them. Dodging all their attacks pretty effectively. Dodging every punch from Chippity, dodging Saisaishi's kicks. Getting into George, where Domon even says, hey, George, we're supposed to be honing our skills in the Gundam fight tournaments, not seeking power, but seeking to be better fighters. But I'm trying to think of my words. Rather than doing shortcuts and everything, learning to grow gradually versus reaching the end. George basically kind of laughs him off and begins throwing rosebuds, and Domon beautifully just dodges them and then get from behind from a pillar. Pretty sure this would have kill Domon. You see how this is bending. Argo comes by, locks him down, and George, Chippity, and Saisaishi appear in front of him saying, hey, now's the time. Just kneel to Master, kneel to the Dark Gundam, and you'll get all this super powerful strength. You'll become super strong, Don't you want to become stronger? And in that moment, Domon breaks out of Argo's control, leaps up another level on the Tokyo Tower, looks down at them, and says, this strength you have is only skin deep. You have not properly honed your skills. You have just become slaves to the Dark Gundam, and the price is steep, essentially. Saying, hey, you are no longer the people you were. You have become something completely different, power-crazed, hungry for more fights, and you will not like what you end up becoming. And we kind of see them go down this very drastically. Domon then says, I'm off to go battle Master Asia. Saisaishi says, well then, why don't you just go see him already? And I don't remember if it was Saisaishi or it was Argo who does it. Argo throws a beam at Domon. Domon rides it all the way up to the top, where he meets Master Asia. Domon calls for Master Asia to come down. Master Asia doesn't really answer, but throws down his little scarf ribbon thing that he uses to split the beam in half. It's a martial arts anime. It's a Gundam anime. It's an anime. It's over the top. It knows what it is. Still, I can't. Craziness. Simply craziness. Big Domon dodges. Massive explosion because of just Master Asia is using a ribbon to kind of like just drag across the ground to try to kill Domon. Explosion happens. Domon wakes up, sees all of them there. Chippity, Argo, George, Saisaishi. All there while Domon's here on the edge, not knowing what to do. And just then, Master Asia comes down and says, well, it's time, Domon. You can either die, essentially, or join us. Join me. Your brother and the Dark Gundam would be more than happy to accept you amongst our ranks. They will be more than happy to welcome you home. Domon then begins to stare down at them, and we get our midpoint. And I'll be honest, this is a very action-packed episode. Very, very light on some of the story the story's unfolding from where we've come up. This is kind of that final moment, trying to think of a proper way to say it. I can't think of it. The climax of everything for this Tokyo arc we've been on, where we've gone from Shinjuku, the story of Master Asia, the bonding, the betrayal, and now the confrontation. This small arc through Shinjuku to Tokyo Tower is a turning point in the whole show. And from here on, we have some. I'm not gonna mince my words. I think we have one more episode after this, and we're not done with this episode, but we have one more episode after this. Kind of just continues rounds up some storylines from this episode. One more small battle, not anything major. And then we move on to more Gundam of the Week for a couple episodes where we learn other things. But this episode basically continues the overall story. Dark Gundams, Master Asia being one of the main antagonists, story development, Shuffle Alliance, and as we come back, we get more Shuffle Alliance story and how they interact with each other and what they are meant to do. In this small moment, though, while we're still here on the tower where Domon is basically cornered, what can he do? He can either die at their hands, join them, die at their hands, or jump off. That's what he's left his choices he's left with. And as Domon is kind of pleading with them to say, hey, your strengths are corruption, you're being twisted and changed into something else. We look upon them, and as Domon kind of says, he doesn't want to join them. Basically, doesn't want to join the Dark Gundam. He doesn't want to join his brother because he sees what it does to people and how it corrupts them. You see Argo, DG cells all over him. You see Chippity with DG cells all over him, and they're all saying, just join us. This is really cool power. We haven't changed that much. We've just gotten stronger. You see George with the cells. You see Saisaishi with the cells too, as they're all saying, hey, just join us already. And if you don't, we'll just kill you. We'll just end you. We'll just prove that we're stronger than you now. Master Asia says, you know what? Because you're not going to join us, it'll just end you now. And we get one of those brief storyline points right before the character death is basically going to be dealt a mortal wound. And in this little side moment, Domon gets kind of like a visions of sorts from the Shuffle Alliance, where each one of them is calling them basically pathetic, weak, inexperienced. You don't know what it's like to be a true martial artist. And they kindly start reminding him that, hey, how does a martial artist communicate? Martial artists communicate using their fists and their punches and all that to communicate with their souls, to tell them what tell people what they are feeling. And you have not properly learned that yet, and you still need to be guided through your fists and everything, and you just need to let your emotions do the talking for you, essentially. Continuing the, hey, martial artists communicate with their fists, communicate with fighting. That whole idea is continued down onto Domon, where Domon basically learns, hey, part of his learning and part of his growth isn't just, hey, how do I get stronger, but hey, be confident in your own skills. Be confident in the martial arts that you've been taught. Be confident in your abilities, and you will potentially be able to do and you'll basically be able to do anything and communicate the way you need to communicate. In this moment, Domon realizes that all he needs to do is trust his skills and trust his ranking as King of Hearts. So instead of allowing any attack to befall him, he jumps off. Yep, he jumps off. Everybody's in shock that he did this. Like, it is a thought. And as he's plummeting down to the ground, he calls to the Shining Gundam, lands in it perfectly, and he commences a Gundam fight challenge. Well, requests a Gundam fight challenge to Master Asia, one-on-one as the King of Hearts. Master Asia dutifully accepts. I don't know if dutifully is the right word there, but Master Asia accepts. He accepts the offer and says, hey, won't be that hard. And we get this really cool sequence that we see again in later episodes, but you see Master Asia spinning around, and you see Master Gundam appear right behind him. Oh, I freaking love that moment. You see Saisaishi and all them saying, hey, why don't we get involved? We could end this a whole lot faster. And the older Shuffle Alliance members appear and say, nope, you can't get involved. Domon has requested, by acknowledgement of the King of Hearts crest, a one-on-one battle with Master Asia to see what he can do. And because of that, we won't allow you to get involved. As the Shuffle Alliance, we cannot allow you to advance. So, what's the smart idea to do here? What do you think these guys do? Well, they attack. And I do like this moment. For one thing, it shows you the difference in strength. Because these are Saisaishi, Argo, George, Chippity, DG celled up, super strong. Domon's been struggling with each of them. And what do we get? we get this quick moment where just one of the Shuffle Alliance members takes out all four of them. Now, I do like this moment, but it does two things, and we'll end up talking about the second thing that it does, but it shows after they've been kind of like incapacitated. This member of the Shuffle Alliance, Diamond, this is Diamond, Queen of Diamonds, I think, maybe Jack of Diamonds. We'll have to see it when we're all done. I know it's Diamond. That's all I know. I get the face is wrong, but I know their crests at least. Diamond looks upon his fist and says, "It can't be." Like something's up here. The other members come down and say, "Hey, what's up?" And Diamond's just like, it can't be. Just then, Saisaishi thinks that he's going to be a smart little prick. Come up in Dark Gundam. Not Dark Gundam. God, so many D's. Ladies. And Dragon Gundam to do a quick hit and says, "Hey, I got him." And just then, magically, see, I have some criticisms. Magically, the Shuffle Alliance basically throws him off, and I thought you could have done something really cool here, kind of like how they did with Master Asia, showing off his strengths and stuff. He's able to take out whole Dark Army members by himself without a Gundam. You could have done that here with the Shuffle Alliance, said, "Hey, one of them can take out all four of them together. Maybe have one of them be able to at least withstand a Gundam together. Like all four of them together can withstand one Gundam attack." No, what they end up doing is they magically get into their Shuffle Alliance Gundams. Don't know how. And I'll admit it, I don't know how. I think that's a failure a little bit. It is what it is. I can't go back and change it. And that's a knock on my book. I've let a lot of things slide. This one has some crazy moments. Well, we come back here, though, to Domon and Master Asia battling. And we get to see Master Asia's Master Gundam do something that I actually do like. And I wish, at least my high grade that I have doesn't do it. I need to see if I can find a Master grade Master Gundam. I wonder if that exists. Never mind. Getting sidetracked. Master Gundam has this really cool ability that his arms are connected with wires. Like his forearm part. So he can do this and actually, like, this part of his Gundam can basically shoot off and go wherever he needs it and then just come back. So he's kind of doing that whole like piston style fights. So his forearms are constantly moving forward, and with these kind of pointed fingers, they kind of act like blade, like spears of sorts. So he's constantly thrusting those forwards. I can speak. Domon's dodging the best of his ability, and Master Asia says, "Hey, you talked a big talk. You said that you were going to break me out of this mind control. You were going to reach me. You were going to talk to me. You were going to do all this stuff, but you haven't even landed a single hit on my Gundam while I have you on your back foot constantly." Oh, excuse me. Domon's starting to get up, and like they're about to get more into it, and they kind of are. Domon's still dodging while Master Asia's just using that his beam scarf, we'll call it that, this thing to straight up slice through a building as Domon keeps dodging. We cut back to the battle between the Shuffle Alliance and the rest of the crew, and each I feel like I said that wrong the first time. Each member of the Shuffle Alliance has a unique attack that they use. Black Joker using some sort of weird chain attack. Diamond using fire spin. So Spade. Yes, I got it right. Spade using a dagger attack, like a rain of daggers, and Club using this weird rain of like fists. When Club does it, see, he's like throwing his fist forward, and that, if I can get it just right, he throws his fist forwards, then he puts his hands together. So I'm guessing these are supposed to be like rain of fists. They all use these like really powerful attacks. That's what you can get from it. To take down each one of those, each one of them, Chippity, Argo, Saisaishi, George, and I'm constantly saying their names because it's easier. And as they're like, hey, well, as after they're done, as the dust is settling, Black Joker says, hey, we don't like to butcher. We don't like to maim. We don't like to use our powers to just outright destroy people. But in times like this, when you are associated with Master Asia and the Dark Gundam, we kind of have no choice. We have to basically annihilate you. And as the dust settles, and as Black Joker here says that, she looks upon the units, and in a interesting moment, she sees all four of them standing back up and glowing. Wow, they're glowing. What could be happening? What's going on? She looks upon them, and the other two members of the Shuffle Alliance that haven't put two and two together yet. The Diamond has already done it. I don't know why he didn't say this sooner. Again, criticism. As much as I like the concept of the Shuffle Alliance, they're not the brightest, and they have magical powers, apparently. It appears, and Diamond kind of fills them in this moment, that, yes, Saisaishi, Argo, Chippity, and George are the future inheritors of the Shuffle Alliance crest. And Diamond basically figured it out the moment he laid hands on them. So the moment you were able to lay hands on them, you figured it out. Okay. I guess that's how that works. I don't know. I like the concept of the Shuffle Alliance. I really, really do. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. They needed a whole lot more work. Maybe in the manga it's better explained, but in this it is not explained. Like, what are their powers? What are they doing? What is, besides being the arbiters of order and making sure things stay in peaceful and orderly, how are you able to do all this? How are you able to figure out all these powers? And why do you guys have specialized Gundams? Those are questions that I legitimately have. So, in this moment, realizing that these are the future Shuffle Alliance members, they are corrupted with Dark Gundam cells. The current Shuffle Alliance says, well, they have basically no choice. They have to save them. And they all agree, yeah, it's time to use that power. Again, biggest complaint to the show, biggest complaint to this whole arc is Shuffle Alliance, because we're about to see some serious superpowers that go full anime. Let's just be serious here. This just goes full anime. I love G Gundam to death, but this went full anime, and I knew there was always something about the Shuffle Alliance I didn't quite like, and I think this is why. So, they say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to save you. They decide to, like, Argo and all of them are freaking out. They're like, what's happening? Because all of a sudden, Shuffle Alliance members are all jumping into the air. Like, what's going on? I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. You know what? I'll say it this way. They all decide to jump up in the air and immediately slam back down on top of each and every one of them. You know what? I'm just going to let this scene kind of speak for itself and what it kind of represents, because this is their final attack, you know. Jump into the sky, slam down, and I will say this, sacrifice their own lives. You can probably put two and two together. Yes, they use this super powerful attack that basically acts like a sort of energy bomb of some sorts, and sacrifice their lives in order to save all four of them, each one of them grabbing onto their respective counterparts. So Argo to being held by Joker. Okay, now this helps me remember it. So it's Queen of Diamonds, Black Joker, Ace of Spades, no, Jack of Spades, Ace of Clubs. Got it. Even though I'm pretty sure we saw their card. We'll see them again. I'll figure it out. I'll eventually figure it all out. And in this weird spirit world that we are seeing right now, we see each one of them being held, and they give a final message to Domon and basically say, hey, what we're doing. We are sacrificing our remaining lives to save all of them, give them our remaining lives to bring them back to who they should be and what they should be. And in doing so, we are entrusting you, Domon, to please be the proper protector and savior, the proper protector and leader and guider and all that of the Shuffle Alliance, and please hold the position of King of Hearts well. Be the good King of Hearts. Be the King of Hearts we need right now, and that they need for future generations. And as you see them, their spirit energy slowly fall. Their life force goes into them, and you see the DG cells slowly start to chip away from each one of them. Another blast of powerful light goes all over the place. Everybody can see it. Rain's like, what the heck's going on? Domon gets thrusted back into a building, completely destroying it. And when the light's all settled, we see the Gundams for the Shuffle Alliance, now gray, no color, nothing, standing still, all on their line, in this nice little moment where, honestly, it should probably have a bigger impact than it does, but because you don't really know, like, hey, what were these powers? You get the sense that, hey, these were important people. They had certain powers and abilities into this world of G Gundam, but when they die, you're kind of like, oh, wow, okay. It kind of feels wasted when I get to the Shuffle Alliance. I really do feel like it was wasted and they didn't properly use it. I don't know what better ideas you could have done here. Maybe an extra episode. Put an episode here where you learn more about the Shuffle Alliance, or do something where you just a little more understanding of what the Shuffle Alliance is and their powers, versus some dialogue that honestly Domon should have already known. Well, with Domon staring at their Gundams, he watches as they I'm slurring my words now. I haven't even been drinking yet. They slowly start to crack and crumble and wither away into dust as Black Joker's head rolls over onto the ground, and Master Asia picks it up, staring upon the pile of his old comrades, essentially. His Saisaishi, Argo, Chippity, and George. His versions of them. Because this is a little inside baseball that I know. There is a prequel series. I think there's also a sequel series. I think there's 2 sequel series, and I know there's a prequel series. Prequel series actually follows Master Asia as a kid and his interactions with this version of the Shuffle Alliance. I need to read it. Never got an anime. I need to find the manga and read it. That's me. I know it exists. I know of it, and I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to read it because Master Asia is one of my favorite characters. So, with Master Asia kind of kneeling over the pile of his comrades' dead bodies, essentially, just turned to dust, Domon kind of watches this and thinks, hey, maybe he's actually feeling something. And we get over here and we start hearing, the Ha 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 ha, which in in voiceovers and stuff, it can sometimes work if done correctly. You could disguise it as crying versus what it actually is, and it's just Master Asia laughing hysterically, saying, "I can't believe that they sacrificed their lives for just four brats. I can't believe it. How pathetic of an end was it for you?" Not fully realizing what they sacrificed their lives for, but it's more used to show Master Asia is definitely not the Master Asia Domon's known. That it's a push too far. It is a push that it's a moment that just pushes Domon over the edge, because he does have respect for the Shuffle Alliance, for what it represented and for what they just did, sacrificing themselves to save the future. And you just have basically Master Asia here saying that they were weak and pathetic, and their sacrifice will basically be in vain. Nothing they did mattered. And in a moment where Domon's kind of starting to get pissed off, Master Asia smashes the head of Black Joker. Oh god, this is just a badass scene. Look at that man. Look at that Gundam. The dust coming down, the eyes blazing. This is an intimidating Gundam, and I freaking love it. I need a master grade. Domon seeing this and watching Master Asia kind of just act so emotionlessly, it pushes Domon over the edge. Pushes him in a fit of rage, and call back to something that hasn't happened since, I don't even want to say Egypt, because I don't remember if he actually went full super mode in Egypt, so I'll call all the way back to the colony. When Domon first went super mode. I don't remember if he went super mode since coming out of the colony, but he's at least gotten close. Maybe he did go super mode when battling Dahamid. I don't remember off the top of my head. That being said, Domon, when Domon's emotions are raging high, Shining Gundam's powers activate. Yeah, it's Shining Gundam, right? Sorry, I'm checking something real quick. Yeah, I think it's Shining Gundam. It could be Burning Gundam. No, this is Shining Gundam right now. I get, spoiler warning, the Gundams change. They change often in some of these Gundam series, so it's not that big of a surprise, but Domon gets a different Gundam towards the end. Anyways, Shining Gundam's equipped with a specialized motor system or supply system that when the user's emotions rage in either way, the super mode can be activated because it starts being fueled by the emotions of the pilot. So, with Domon's rage being just insane, going super mode begins to actually kind of terrify Master Asia. This is a face that he was not having in the other altercations with Domon thus far. Domon going full super mode. Master Asia's actually kind of terrified, jumps back to use his little beam attack. And Domon, in a pure rage attack, uses Shining Finger, completely destroying the beam scarf ribbon thing. Weird weapon for Master Asia to have. Love the dude, but just a weird weapon. Completely destroys it. Kind of hurts Master Asia. Master Asia actually has a face of fear. Domon uses a full, I don't want to say full power, but a massively strong Shining Finger attack on Master Asia. Domon grabs Master Asia's head, and this is kind of where Domon messes up, but story has to continue. Instead of actually crushing his head, kind of lets up a little bit, allows Master Asia to dodge the attack barely, but you see just how powerful of an attack it was, because barely dodges it. He does get hit a bit, but you end up seeing just how powerful this Shining Finger was. strong enough to tear straight through the city and completely wipe out Tokyo Tower. Master Asia is very lucky. Master Asia is insanely lucky to only be basically escaping with just a blast on his shoulder. In this moment, we get this, and I wish I could actually play this because we get this very... this episode is also very music heavy. We get some very good songs and some very heavy hitting music that is a very emotional filled. And you get these cool scenes where Domon's walking through the rubble of what he just did as the super mode kind of powers down. You see like this very rage filled Domon after what Master Asia did. We cut over to Saisaishi, Argo, and all of them waking up, now being normal. Saisaishi saying, "Hey, where are we?" George saying, "The only thing I remember is being challenged to a battle by Master Asia," meaning they don't even remember what's happened since then. All they remember is coming here and being challenged to a battle, and that's it. They don't remember anything. They don't remember the Shuffle Alliance, and they even... Chippity even like looks down because his hand starts growing, and each one of them takes a look, and they acknowledge, "Hey, we all have crests now like Domon. Like, what's going on? What's happening? Don't know." And they look up, and we see Domon smash the ground and say, "How is it? How can I do this? How is it that I'm going to be able to use my fists to translate my soul into..." He can't, he's still frustrated because he still doesn't properly understand how to speak with his fists. That's the point here. He doesn't properly understand how to speak with his fists and how to break Master Asia from the darkness and bring him back to the light. Domon's kind of frustrated, but is more determined now than before, and is going to continue his quest now to not only destroy the Dark Gundam, free his family, win the tournament, but also save Master Asia. Master Asia becomes one of the main antagonists for the remainder of the series, which is, let me be very honest here. This is episode 15. Episode's over. This is episode 15. I believe there's like, off the top of my head, 40 some episodes. So we got a while. We got a long while. All that being said, I like what this episode was far from perfect. I mean, I even pointed out there's a lot of issues in this episode. We do get another... Actually, I'm looking at the next episode, and I completely forgot. There is a big reveal next week. Big reveal. Because I'm going to start doing this normal again. Last week was Christmas. This week's New Year's. Things are just all over the place. Holidays, you know how it is. All that being said, we are set up for a very interesting... A very interesting time. This episode was far from perfect. I have to admit it. Downright far from perfect. Very questionable things that I still struggle with, even looking back at it. Even though I love this series, for crying out loud, Shuffle Alliance needs a whole lot more work done. I kind of like the aspect of it being ancient and sort of mysterious, but my God, you have the ability to randomly become Gundams and then do a kamikaze attack and transfer your life force into somebody else. Like, you have magical powers. Explain at least some of that. Say, hey, because we're this being of order and stuff, and we use the light, something of that nature. At least Dark Gundam gets more explained, like theoretical engines, theoretical abilities. We see them actually used. We see them utilized. Evolution, things of that nature. We get none of that with the Shuffle Alliance. We don't get any sort of Just a smidgen of explanation on why they can do some of this stuff. None of that. All that being said, still like the episode. It has all its problems, but this is one of those moments where, hey, I look at it through happy thoughts, and yeah, I like the show. You're allowed to like things that are bad, and I like G Gundam. A lot of people hate it. They think it's one of the worst Gundams out there. I think it's fun. I think it's dumb, fun, and enjoyable, and I always stand by it's Street Fighter mixed with Dragon Ball Z add in giant robots. So with that, guys, I leave you all. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.